Recording. Hey, this is Grandis and Shine, Chief Marketing Officer here at Direct Business Marketing. I'm here with Andrew Hoagland. My screen, he's right underneath me. And right to my right side is Dustin Fickbaum, COO of the organization, Drew being the CTO of the organization. So today we want to talk about target market. That's right. He's lasering in, he's focusing in, as you see Dustin with binoculars. He's zeroing in on a target market. So that's what we're going to talk about today. How to zero in on your target market. It's important to zero in on your target market because you shouldn't be selling to, well, they say you should niche your business, right? And if you're selling to everyone, you're selling to no one. So that being the case, we're going to start off with our marketing proposal.
Grandison, your audio is, I couldn't hear anything that you were saying. Your audio is bad.
All right. I don't know. Somebody else has to take over then. If it's going to continue to do that, it's not going to work for me. I don't know what else to do. We'll talk about, I don't know. You want me to shoot you the questions, Dustin?
I think Andrew is frozen. Is he frozen on your screen?
He is frozen.
No. That was
not
a trick.
That was a really good trick. I like it. Nice.
This is like you have to take over there, man. My audio is zonking out on me. I don't know what else to do. Dustin.
Well, I'll just talk about what I want to talk about then. No one else can talk. That's probably
is this going to be another Star Wars? Is this going to be about Star Wars the whole time?
Talk about what you want to talk about.
Well, we're talking about getting laser focused and how to figure out your exact target market. And, I just recently had a conversation with one of our clients talking about, what their target market is and figuring out what it is. And I think a lot of people, when they think of who's my target market, they think about their target market in terms of demographics, like how old are they, how much money do they make, or even if you're a B2B client, you're thinking about, how many employees are there, what's their revenue, the people, when you're coming up with your target market, you're thinking in terms of those kinds of factoidal demographic information. But I think a better way to figure out who your target market is to lump them in groups of what they actually want, as opposed to, who they are. Look at them in terms of what they want, because sometimes, you might have a demographic that isn't the same, but they want the same thing. And when you're trying to sell your products and services, a lot of times it's easier to come up with a marketing campaign when you look at the wants from the client. What problem are they looking to solve? What solution do you have? What do they want, as opposed to, their demographic information? So, I think when you look at what they want and what problems you're looking to solve for them, we call them client types in our organization, and then we start making a list. And when you've made that list of the different wants of your clients, then it's a lot easier to come up with a campaign that targets those wants, and not only come up with a campaign, but come up with a call to action that fits those wants. And so, I'm thinking about, a call to action that we use a lot, which is our virtual consultation. And I think the reason that virtual consultation is so ingenious and works so well is because it's actually what the person wants without having them to commit to what they want, if that makes sense. They know, they need to have a consultation. They know they need help. They know they need to talk to a professional. But what they really want to do is not do any of those things. Their want is, I want help, but I don't actually want to talk to anybody. I want to sit in the comfort of my own home. I want to get some information. I want to get comfortable with you before I pull the trigger on anything. And so that's what a virtual consultation allows you to do. It allows you to satisfy their need of having a consult, but also, more importantly, satisfy their want of, I don't want to talk to anybody. So I think that's a good example of how to laser focus.
Yeah, and when you look at your client types, your potential customers in the way that you just described, Drew, a lot of those marketing ideas become fairly apparent, fairly obvious, rather than focusing on things like demographics and where are they and who are they and how much money do they have. When you start talking about what they want, then your marketing angle is almost right in front of your face.
Yeah. I think that's a key piece to point out because a lot of small businesses or single business owners, when they talk about the struggles they have with marketing, a lot of the struggles they have is coming up with a plan and actually executing that plan. And the first step of any plan is figuring out, well, who are you going to market to? And once you look at it in these terms of saying, hey, I'm going to market to a person who wants this. This is what they want. Once you know what they want, filling in the rest of the generate, capture, store, nurture part of the plan becomes a lot easier.
And wouldn't you say, Drew, that maybe this is where you might draw the line between advertising and marketing? Because the truth is, a lot of small businesses, what they're doing is advertising. They might call it marketing, but they're actually just advertising. Whereas when you actually look at what your client might want, what product or service you have that they want or need, then trying to get that message in front of them, then we're actually doing marketing rather than advertising.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think a lot of times small businesses fall into the trap of advertising, the advertising trap, where they're spending a lot of their money on brand awareness, I guess you'd say. Hey, letting people know that our company exists, we exist, we're out there, as opposed to spending their money on targeted marketing targeting to someone who what they specifically want, and I have that solution for what you want. I think small businesses, they just don't have the marketing dollars to spend on advertising. They can't just blanket the airways with commercials like say a Coke or a car dealership can. They just don't have those kinds of mass media broadcast dollars to waste on advertising.
So where do they start to look for their target market?
Well, I think the easiest way to find your target market is to find what are the solutions that you have and work backwards and say, hey, my organization solves these problems. Once you identify the problems that you solve, you can work back to finding out what people want. And another key is to figure out what you're actually selling, which is another issue small businesses have. We're kind of going on a tangent here, but a lot of small businesses have an issue figuring out what are they actually, what are you selling? A good example would be, a CPA. They provide, tax services. Like, hey, I'm doing tax services. Well, is that really what you're selling, or are you selling peace of mind that my taxes are done right? Or are you selling low stress that you won't have to stress about this? Are you selling, ease of getting your taxes done? Is that what you're selling, or are you actually selling, a 1040 form? Identifying what you're actually selling, is key to helping you figure out who you're selling it to.
Yeah, we see that in real estate. Within the real estate market, home buyers, they're looking to purchase a home, whereas home sellers are looking to work with a realtor.
Yeah.
So a realtor is positioning their homes in one instance, but they're positioning themselves in another instance.
Mm-hmm.
So even within the same industry, you can have two different mindsets. Then you have to cater to both mindsets in a different way.
For sure, 100%.
Yeah, and if you see, a lot of realtor advertising is because they don't know any better, or because it's how everybody has done it. A lot of realtor advertising is brand awareness. Here's me, a picture of me on a bus stop, the side of a bus, a billboard, maybe a radio ad, flyers and signs in yards. but there are two different messages, at least two different messages within even the real estate market, one to buyers and one to sellers.
Yeah. And I think, speaking of real estate, a lot of realtors get caught up in the buyer is like, hey, I'm focused on getting buyers, and my website is all about searching for homes, and it's all about buyer. But when they actually sit down and ask them, what would you rather have, a seller or a buyer? All of them would say, oh, I'd rather have a seller. But yet they focus their branding, their website, everything around, hey, come search for homes, when they should be focused on getting more sellers.
Right. Yeah, true. So when you talk about customers' wants, what about the whole, they say wants are stronger than needs when you talk about looking for a client? Wants, needs, kind of the same or very different?
No, I agree with you that you definitely want to focus on what your client wants. In my example on why a virtual consultation service that we sell works so well is because, their need, what they actually need is to talk to a professional. If you need to get a mortgage, hey, you need to talk to a mortgage professional. That's what they need. But that's not what they want. They want to not talk to anybody. I would rather not talk to anybody than talk to somebody. I mean, that's the Snapchat, texting, Facebook, Twitter, society that we're in. We'd rather not pick up the phone and call someone, instead of actually doing it. So for sure, I agree with you. Wants are way more powerful than needs.
And with the consultation, part of that is simply that they are information searching. They're information seeking. They want answers to some of their questions, and that physical one-on-one consultation, whether it's a phone call or a meeting in person, that becomes more of a commitment to the prospect, to the client type. And that's not a commitment they're willing to make yet, which is maybe brings up another great point about the virtual consultations that we do for our clients, is that you're providing them with the information they want, but you, unbeknownst to them, have just positioned yourself as an expert.
Yeah.
You've just said, hey, I'm the guy that has all these answers. Here are the answers for you. And some of the people that use our virtual consulting systems, they speak about the fact that it is a much easier close when they're already aware of the fact that I'm the expert and they got the information from me.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And so in our process, the first step, part of what we do, and the biggest thing that we do, is help small businesses come up with, their marketing plan and develop it. And we use our process called Marketing Blueprint to devise a marketing plan for companies. So our biggest first step in doing that is figuring out who you're selling to, what are their wants, what are their needs, how can we create a campaign that fits. So, as we close our conversation today, I just want to encourage anybody out there watching that wants to improve their business by increasing their marketing and having an actual marketing plan that you can follow and that makes sense, to schedule a consultation with us. Go to our website, click free consultation, schedule, pick a time, schedule a consultation with us, and we'll get started. So thanks. I'll close it off here. Thanks to Granison and Dustin talking about our targeting market. And again, you can connect with us on Facebook or Twitter or on our website. We'd love to talk to you more about this topic. See you later.
All right. That's it. Later.